Welcome to Simplified Reads. Today, we're diving into 10 of the most fun and heartwarming children's and family literary fiction books from 2024 and 2025. We'll break them down using a simple storytelling checklist, covering themes, characters, pacing, world building, and more, so you can discover which stories will captivate young readers and families alike. These 10 children's and family-friendly books, spanning 2024 to 2025, come together to illustrate how modern literary fiction for younger readers blends humor, heart, imagination, and emotional honesty. Starting with The Day My School Got Famous by Jen Carney, we see themes of identity, community, and sudden change explored through the lens of children dealing with viral attention. The central idea that kids can find grounding and strength even when life becomes chaotic is revealed through characters who grow from insecurity into self-assurance, motivated by a desire to be understood and to protect their friendships. Carney's fast pacing mirrors the dizzying speed of fame, and her contemporary school setting reinforces the pressure of modern digital culture. Her witty, diary-style voice uses humor as both a coping mechanism and a symbol of resilience, while the internal conflict of wanting recognition but fearing judgment resolves into a gentle message about staying true to oneself. This story resonates with today's digitally aware children, and compared to other humorous school-based novels, it stands out for its commentary on internet culture and the philosophical question of what being known truly means. Moving into Squirrel and Duck, Mission Improbable by Tom Percival, the themes shift into friendship, courage, and unlikely alliances. Beneath the comedic surface, the story examines how different personalities complement each other. The careful, anxious squirrel and the bold, impulsive duck form a mirrored pair whose fears and desires drive their development. Percival's plot structure thrives on misadventures, rising action, and clever twists, creating a playful pacing that keeps tension light but engaging. The setting, an anthropomorphic world full of domestic details, reflects the characters' emotional states, with familiar spaces transforming into arenas for bravery. Percival's energetic style, full of expressive illustrations and comedic metaphors, deepens the symbolism of teamwork. The conflicts revolve around misunderstandings, danger, and self-doubt, resolving in a way that affirms cooperation. When compared to other animal adventure stories, this one offers a more humorous philosophical takeaway. Sometimes the bravest step is trusting someone totally unlike yourself. Ella Dove's How to Roller Skate with One Leg adds emotional gravity to the list with its themes of disability, perseverance, and personal reinvention. The book centers on Maya, whose motivations are marked by longing for independence and fear of being seen as fragile, giving her a deeply relatable internal conflict. Her arc from self-consciousness to self-acceptance unfolds through a balanced plot, quiet reflections interspersed with physical, comedic challenges. Dove's contemporary suburban setting grounds the story in realism, allowing readers to connect deeply with the everyday obstacles Maya faces. Her writing style mixes heartfelt sincerity with uplifting humor, using roller skating itself as a metaphor for learning to navigate life's instability. The conflict between Maya's desire for normalcy and the realities of adapting to a prosthetic leg resolve in a hopeful yet realistic manner, prompting readers to think about resilience, identity, and the philosophical idea that limitations do not define a person. Culturally, this book reflects growing representation in children's fiction, offering a refreshing contrast to more traditional adventure narratives. Teachers vs. Aliens vs. the Kids by Steve Williams swings the tone back in a high-energy comedy, using themes of bravery, rebellion, and empowerment as children face an outrageous alien invasion. Motivated by fear, excitement, and the desire to prove themselves, the kids undergo subtle arcs that show how ordinary students can rise to extraordinary moments. The plot structure mimics sci-fi action, with escalating threats and a climactic showdown, paced quickly to maintain suspense and humor. The familiar school setting becomes a battlefield symbolic of children confronting forces beyond their control, a clever nod to how school life can sometimes feel overwhelming. Williams' lively style, filled with exaggerated imagery and punchy dialogue, makes the story feel like a comic come to life. The conflict is external and dramatic, but it ultimately resolves with the message that unity and cleverness outweigh fear. Philosophically, it lightly explores authority, courage, and the importance of listening to children's instincts, drawing subtle parallels to classic underdog adventure tales. Liz Pichon's Meet the Mubbles deepens the comedic and visually expressive tone of the list, exploring themes of creativity, chaos, and family eccentricities through her signature graphic novel style. The characters, each quirky in their own way, are driven by curiosity and a desire for fun, creating humorous contrasts that highlight their individual strengths and flaws. The fast-paced plot, filled with visual gags and surprising turns, is structured to keep young readers continually entertained while gradually revealing emotional undercurrents about belonging and teamwork. The Isle of Smile setting functions almost as a character of its own, bright, unpredictable, and symbolic of the idea that joy can be found in odd, imperfect places. Pichon's style is hypervisual, with exaggerated expressions and repeated motifs that reinforce the theme of embracing one's weirdness. The conflicts emerge from misunderstandings and heightened silliness, resolving with heart and unity. Compared to her Tom Gates series, this book shares her signature humor but broadens the scope with more fantastical elements and a subtle philosophical reminder that families come in all shapes. Serena Patel and Emma McCann's Pia's Pet Club Puppy Problem introduces themes of responsibility, empathy, and community building. Pia, whose deepest desire is to care for animals, experiences growth as she learns to manage a mischievous puppy and navigate the expectations of friends and family. The narrative structure follows a gentle, steady rhythm with small challenges that build toward emotional understanding rather than dramatic climax, making the pacing ideal for readers transitioning into more complex chapter books. The neighborhood setting, filled with pets, friends, and lively community moments, reflects the warmth and inclusiveness of Pia's worldview. Patel's approachable writing style, combined with McCann's expressive illustrations, creates a comforting tone, with recurring motifs related to care, patience, and belonging. The conflicts are rooted in misunderstandings and puppy-induced chaos, resolving neatly to emphasize kindness and problem-solving. The book subtly raises the philosophical question of what it means to be responsible not just for a pet, but for the feelings of others. N.D. Stevenson's Scarlet Morning shifts toward more emotional adventure, with themes of survival, family, and moral identity woven into the story of orphaned siblings on the high seas. The characters' motivations, loyalty, longing, fear, and the desire to protect each other drive their rich development arcs. Stevenson structures the book with alternating moments of danger and introspection, balancing action with character depth. The maritime setting, both beautiful and threatening, symbolizes the emotional turbulence of the siblings' lives. Stevenson's language is poetic, shading the narrative with metaphor and emotional imagery, while his use of adventure motifs echoes classic seafaring literature. Conflicts are both internal, fear, guilt, uncertainty, and external, pirates, storms, survival, resolving in a way that feels earned and resonant. Philosophically, the book wrestles with the question of how hardship shapes moral choices, inviting comparisons to broader coming-of-age epics. Jacqueline Wilson's The Seaside Sleepover continues her trademark exploration of family, disability, and childhood resilience. Daisy and Lily's relationship forms the emotional core, with Daisy's motivations driven by love for her sister and her desire to belong. Their character development is realistic, subtle, and tender, shaped by the small emotional lessons of a family holiday. Wilson structures the plot around slice-of-life moments rather than dramatic events, creating a slow and comforting pace that mirrors real childhood experiences. The seaside setting amplifies themes of escape, relaxation, and discovery, functioning symbolically as a place where emotional truths rise to the surface. Wilson's clear, compassionate language allows even complex feelings to remain accessible. The conflicts stem from social challenges, frustrations, and internal insecurities, resolving gently to emphasize understanding. This story sits comfortably beside Wilson's other emotionally grounded novels, offering the philosophical idea that the everyday moments shape us most. Katherine Rundell's Impossible Creatures expands the scope into richly imagined fantasy, exploring themes of wonder, environmental stewardship, and the cost of magic. Kit and Clara's motivations evolve from curiosity into a deep sense of responsibility, giving them powerful character arcs. Rundell's plot is structured as a quest narrative, with rising tension, revelations, and a climactic confrontation that leads into reflective resolution. The archipelago of magical creatures is a masterclass in world building, functioning as both a setting and a symbol for fragile ecosystems. Her writing style is lyrical, filled with sensory detail and metaphor that heighten emotional depth. Conflicts revolve around moral choices, danger, and competing forces of preservation and destruction, resolving in ways that provoke deeper reflection. Philosophically, the book questions humanity's relationship with nature, aligning it with modern ecological concerns. Finally, The Poison King continues these themes by raising the stakes emotionally and morally. Clara and Kit face more complex dilemmas that challenge their identities and loyalties, pushing their character development into deeper territory. The story's pacing is brisk but layered, with political intrigue and magical threats unfolding across Rundell's meticulously built world. The setting grows darker and more symbolic of corruption and transformation, while the author's poetic style remains intact. The conflicts, both internal and external, lead to consequences that shape the overarching message about courage and sacrifice. The novel poses philosophical questions about power, responsibility, and whether doing the right thing always requires personal cost, offering a mature continuation of the first book's grand themes. Thanks for watching Simplified Reads. If you enjoyed exploring these exciting 2024 to 2025 children's and family fiction picks, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more book breakdowns made easy. Let us know which title you're picking up next, and we'll help you find your next unforgettable read.